From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
We outside, yeah. We be wildin', we outside, yeah.
Wake up! What is up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, practice observations, 20 minutes worth, and another win for Florida State on the Diamond over a rival. Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, cptallybar.com, the website. Chicken strip basket, everybody's your lunch special. And I'm not saying don't go there for your lunch today, but you're going to want to hang out a little bit longer because
Late
en
lunch,
masse.
Late lunch, yeah.
Yeah, en masse. Everybody from the Jeff Cameron Warchant.com charity golf tournament will be showing up to Corner Pocket mid-afternoon. So if you want to hang out, no eye contact with Corey. We can shake his hand, though. Just look down at the ground, look at his feet, look at his shoes, and we'll keep it moving. So show up to Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Is everything still going to Second Harvest? Do we know who the –
Yes, and also I wanted – yeah, it is. And also I wanted to say that I was wrong. Last week was not the pay-per-view UFC. That is this weekend, starting Saturday at 7th Hills below Corner Pocket if you're down with if you're down to watch a little UFC. And we should tell people what we're doing right now, Aslan. This is the first in Wake Up Warchant history.
Well, yeah, Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Subscribe, 5-star rating, review, thumbs up as well. It is currently Thursday evening. We're sitting out front Dick Hauser Stadium. We're going to talk about the baseball game at its completion, but we're doing this like in two parts, so we're recording all of our practice observations now while the game is ongoing. Tom Lang.
Third inning. I think we're in the bottom of the third
Tom
right
Lang,
now.
our eyes and ears right now. He's running the thread, so we're not neglecting anybody. But this is the first time you and I think we've been physically in the same space together recording this show since the LSU game in 22, driving out to New Orleans with your lovely bride
or
now,
maybe Oklahoma before the Oklahoma game in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, though. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, year and a half.
So
that sounds like something good happened for the Noles. I don't know if y'all can pick up on that.
The cool thing is we're both speaking into the same exact microphone, so our audio should sound very similar, and everything's going to be nice and uniform, those are the little things that make me happy. I think Mike Norvell is happy after practice on Thursday. Offense won, it sounds like, Corey.
Yeah, and I don't know how much that you saw, but I definitely thought that right away that I thought the offense had the better day. They did a lot of 11-on-11. It was a different kind of practice. There were no one-on-ones at all. It was kind of limited 7-on-7, but it was a lot of 11-on-11 in different situations, including at the end when it was essentially 1 minute drill, minute 13, try to get down and score, kick a field goal. And the defense did play well in those stretches, for sure.
Guys like KJ Sampson walking by right now.
The defense did play well then, but I did think overall the offense was better. I thought the offense continues to run the ball at a really high rate. I mean, they're just good at it right now. And then they hit a couple big pass plays, too. And I thought DJ, once again, stood out and was very sharp.
Yeah. Norvell pointed out, if you guys watch our practice video, you didn't notice Brock Glenn currently working through a non-football injury. Doesn't sound very serious, though. So
he said he wanted him back by the end of the spring, and the spring ends next Saturday, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't look like it's too serious.
Yeah, man, just DJ looks, I don't know if it's more comfortable, but everything just seems to be kind of falling in place a little bit better. He's taking the shots downfield, but they seem to be materializing a little bit more efficiently or in better averages.
So he hit in one of the 7-on-7s, he hit Malik for about a 53-yard touchdown. Really nice throw. He got behind Cypress, and that's just a really good throw. And then earlier in 11-on-11, he hit Jakai on a rollout to his right type throw. That was another. Just the guy doesn't even look like he's throwing hard. You know what I mean? He's not putting a lot of oomph into it, and it's still going the way it goes. And that was a really good throw, kind of across his body. It was probably 70 yards in the air, although it only went for a 42-yard touchdown. And that came on the heels. Literally, the play before that was a Jalen Lucas 42-yard touchdown run. So, the offense strung together some really nice moments and some big plays. We know they might have some consistency issues here or there. They don't have Jordan Travis anymore, but man, the big play was there, and I thought the offense played well. Just consistently making 12-yard completions, 15-yard completions, 8-yard runs. They weren't all home runs. I just thought the offense was really good.
Is Brady going to apply to come to Florida State?
I how much does it cost?
A lot of distractions on this
I know,
campus.
hey man, go get it together, Aslan.
How
Much does it cost to apply? Isn't it like $50? Isn't there like an application fee? I think so.
Yeah, it sounds about.
I might as well take a
50
$50.
day.
I might as well take 50 and set it on fire. Just saying.
I got faith in you, Brady. It's never too late to turn it all around.
Unless he becomes an incredible baseball player, then yeah, he'll apply.
Preferred walk-on status, right on. All right, period 3, they did it on the plus side of the field. I think it was kind of red zone, like
yes,
20-yard
yeah,
line
like
so.
the 13. I think they started at the 13.
Not a lot of success early on for DJ, but by early on I mean like the first few plays, but then it caps off with a touchdown with Roydell. So it wasn't. Usually when they do period 3 and they start on their own 20-yard line, so they've got 80 yards to go.
Yeah.
Even if the pass is incomplete, they'll spot the ball forward and they'll just line up and keep going. But this was like they were actually playing the ball from the spot of the last play.
And they got in both times, I thought, right?
Roydell Williams on third down converts with DJ and then Cromanhawk. Man, I think it was the first play actually.
Yeah,
I think Sam
Singleton 13-yard right up the middle. Again, that running game. They got swallowed up a few times overall during the course of the day, but overall, there were a lot of big chunk plays in the ground game.
They are explosive in the running back room too, and Norvell said as much after practice. I mean, Cam Davis, we'll get to him maybe right now or in a second, but he's part of it. Sam Singleton's a guy that we don't talk about a lot, but he's got that.
He's got some
ability,
speed, yeah.
And then obviously Roydell Williams, Lawrence Toafili, which we should always start off with, but it's impressive to see what they're doing right now, running the ball. Period 10. This, I think, might have been one of the first 11-on-11 periods. I got DJ with a nice completion to Lawrence Toafili, a good rush there by Roydell Williams, and a slant. I don't know if it was a slant or maybe just a very short post to Kentron, who is doing a really good job of, I don't know if he's in the slot on those plays, but he's just finding nice spots softly in the coverage over the middle that we're seeing from Kentron. And then a nice screen pass to Brian Courtney. Back to the defense, catches it, turns upfield, and goes.
Yeah, I thought that overall, the receivers had a much better day. I did. I thought they were good. I thought they were good on, there are a couple drops here and there, but that's going to happen when you throw 100 balls throughout the course of a practice. But overall, I thought the wide receivers had a good day. Benson had a couple of tough catches, and he had a big one. He had a 53-yarder that we just talked about. And then Van Dravius had a drop. I don't like to see that. Thomas had a couple, but Landon Thomas also had a pancake block on a running play in 11-on-11, which is really good to see because the physicality is what you wonder about a freshman tight end, right? We know he's got ability to get open and catch the ball. He's a unique weapon in the passing game at that size. You don't know how physical he's going to be. And it was just one play, and it was against I think it was against a walk-on DB, but he pummeled him. He pancaked him, which is what he should be doing.
And then from that period as well, I've got a Trevor Jackson with a pair of nice passes to Deuce Spann.
Yeah.
Deuce Spann with a nice little day. Trevor Jackson with a nice little day as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked what you saw out of Trevor. He reminds you that he's got some ability. He's not a normal walk-on. He can really play. I thought the best throw he made was a rollout to his right, the drop I was talking about with Van Dravius, where Van Dravius hits him right in the chest, running to the sideline. Would have been a first down, 15-yard gain, and he just dropped it. But Van Dravius came back and had some nice plays and some first downs. And like we talked about, Ja'Kai had a touchdown because Ja'Kai and Jalen are always doing things. I mean, they just score. They just make plays. Yeah. They're the brotherly love, man. They just make plays. What are you looking at?
There was a sign there 30 seconds ago. Now it's gone. And I don't know who grabbed it, but there was a huge line out front, Hauser, and I thought it was for the Miami game, but there was some sort of giveaway by some company. I guess that's kind of fancy.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a lot of 7-on-7. 1-on-1, there
weren't any one-on-ones.
There's one-on-ones, I thought.
No, they didn't do any one-on-ones. Nope.
Well, at period 16, I had Malik Benson on a deep bomb on Fentrell Cypress.
That was 11-on-11. Or that was 7-on-7. That was 7-on-7, yeah.
That one's got an asterisk next to it, so it was really nice. It was 60
it was a
yards
beautiful
downfield.
Throw. He probably threw it 60. From where he let go to where it was caught, it was 60 down the left sideline. Again, just when he lets it rip, it's fun to watch.
BJ Gibson, Jaden Todd walking by. What's up? Also, nice slant pass to Kentron Portier.
Yeah, again, beat Cypress on that play too, 25 yards. But then Cypress came back and made some. He had a good day though overall. He made some nice plays. And then I did want to say that I thought DJ's best throw of the whole day was late in the 11-on-11s during the minute 13 drill. I think it was the fourth down throw. He's feeling pressure. He backs up a little bit and flings it, a perfect pass to Jackson West. would have been about a 20 to 25-yard gain. He's running towards the sideline. It's like an outbreak. It's a perfect throw, and Jackson just dropped it, dropped the ball. And can't have that, obviously, but, man, it was good to see him make a throw like that. Yeah, it sounds like the Noles keep doing some things behind us. And I did want to say also, because we haven't talked about the defense much, Jabril Rawls had a couple of interceptions, both against walk-on quarterbacks, but they count. They were interceptions. And there was a play. Again, it kind of feels – I know you're hearing all this and going like, man, the defense sounds like it's struggling. And, look, it has not been good against the run. There's some reason for that. Guys that will be playing aren't in the lineup necessarily for some of this.
Josh Farmer, which you all know about, obviously.
Yeah, but there was a play late in practice, maybe the 113 drill, where number 11 is on one side, number 7 is on the other. Peyton bull rushes who his tackle was. Might have been Byers. I don't know who Marvin Jones was going up against, but he makes an incredibly quick swim move to get inside the tackle. They're both basically meeting at the quarterback right when DJ gets it.
Yes.
And he has to throw it away. Again, it reminds you, okay, there's some real stuff to work with there on the defensive line. Those defensive ends aren't normal, and there aren't many schools in the country that are going to have a lot like them. And I think that Norvell said as much when he was talking about Marvin after practice, that, like, yeah, he's right on pace, and he's really, the last week and a half, he started to accelerate his growth. And he looks at, man, he's a really athletic kid, and you could tell – the confident way Norvell talked about him, like, yeah, he's good.
I had him down for that pressure in that period. And I was watching during special teams. I was in the back corner watching a defensive lineman go through pass rush, drills and hand technique placement drills with Odell. And Marvin's a guy that he went through like 2 reps, and then Odell's like, no, Marvin, like, you need to do it this way. And he broke it down to him, and like he's like, you look at this dummy. He's like, I want you to do half man. He's like, this guy, I want you to look him straight down the middle. You need to be on this side to get the proper leverage. Hit with this hand. And then after like the second time being explained to him, Marvin like rips through it, and Odell's just like, that's it. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Him, dude, Sione Lolahea does not – I don't know what he looks like. Like he doesn't look like a defensive end. He looks too small to be an interior defensive lineman. But, man, he is quick.
He's quick and strong.
He's quick and
powerful, yeah.
Man. Like,
and old. He's mature. Like, he's an old guy.
When he was going through that same kind of drill, I mean, it's like 4 dummies, each are like, 2 yards spaced out. I mean, just the violence in his hands and the quickness in his movements. It's like, all right, man, that's going to play. That's going to create all sorts of problems for the opposition. A couple other notes, Corey. In an 11-on-11 period, good rush. Obviously, we've talked about Roydell Williams looking really good. I had a PBU from Fentrell when he was going up against DJ in that unit. Wanted to tip my cap to Keziah Holmes on a blitz pickup where I think his first kind of read was the move up and help on a double team with one of the defensive linemen. He didn't need to do the double team, and then Sean Murphy came around the edge, and Keziah was able to get right outside and jam him
up. I know this wasn't the point of what you were saying, but I'm glad you mentioned Sean Murphy, because he did, I thought, even before Norvell was asked about him after practice, he had by far his best day. Yeah. I had him for a sack, a tackle for loss, a PBU, another really good coverage play. Like, he was just noticeable more. Yeah. And Norvell even said he talked to him before practice and challenged him, like, go play. Just go play. I don't know if he said he was kind of dealing with some aches and pains a little bit. He's been a little beat up. Yeah. But he's like, just go play and don't worry about it. And he did, man. He triggered. He went downhill. And he went and made plays, which is what, look, man, all those linebacker spots are wide open. Nobody's wowed either of us so far. So it's all wide open, and that was good to see him kind of Cryer's had some moments. Omar Graham has been around. He's a veteran. DJ Lundy is DJ Lundy. You know him. But, like, it's good to see Murphy kind of throw his hat into the ring. Like, don't forget about me. I can be a part of this defense too.
In a Trevor Jackson-led drive in 11-on-11s, Roydell Williams had a really nice run. It was courtesy of a very nice combo block by Jalen Early as well as TJ Ferguson. Ferguson was on the pull and absolutely sealed the alley to get him free and bust him out there.
There you go, Fergie.
Also a nice completion to Deuce I had from Trevor Jackson in that.
Yeah, that was a good find.
Well.
I know that play you're talking about. He wasn't open initially, but he kept his eyes downfield and then saw him on the sideline and made the throw. That was a good play.
Otherwise, you mentioned Jabril Rawls, the interception. Marvin Jones Jr. With the pressures that he's been creating. It was a 3rd down, 11-on-11 in period 19. Fentrell held, kind of rerouted. Kentron he caught the ball, but he made him short of the sticks by several yards. So that was a good play by Fentrell. And also, man, we mentioned him the other day, but Aaron Hester, again, Aaron Hester had a TFL, running against some of the more, guys further down maybe the depth chart. But he's a guy that, again, I don't know, 24. I'm not pegging him for destiny, destiny. Greatness, yeah. Sorry, thank you. Shout out to new long snapper, Arnold.
Okay, nice. You know all these guys. That's good.
Most of them, some of them. I think we've got Brian Courtney over there in the blue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely Brian Courtney. I don't know who the other guy is, though. Again, we're literally out front houser, everybody. This is beautiful.
You probably heard the Florida State. We don't know how many runs they scored, but they scored some runs in the bottom of the third inning, and you probably heard some of that.
Yeah, Aaron Hester, I think like 2025, he's probably part of your plans. Maybe even towards the second half of this season, if he, maybe gets a little bit more physically prepared.
I did want to give, while we're on the defense, I did want to give another quick shout-out to Shaheem. He made a play, 2 plays, number one. The first one was the Lucas touchdown that I talked about. Lucas probably scores, but you get reminded on plays like that. Man, Shaheem is an athlete. Because Jalen sprints by everybody, but he didn't sprint by, I was going to call him 38. He's wearing number 1 now. And I think there's a chance in a game he might actually make the tackle. He will at least dive at him. But you're not going to dive at somebody's feet in a practice. So he didn't, and he ended up scoring. But I think he could have dove at him. Lucas just you don't have leverage against him ever. You might think you have the angle that he destroys your angle. But Shaheem kept his angle, and I think would have had a chance to maybe make that tackle, which is good to see. He's just a guy that you forget, man. He is just a unique athlete back there to be able to run with Jalen Lucas at his size. And then also he made a play later on in practice, an 11-on-11, where he diagnosed a screen pass and beat a block by Morlock and made a play to stop him getting a first down. It's a really nice play, a really heady play. He's again, you guys all know about him, but I just want to give him a shout out because we've been talking so glowingly about the offense with good reason. But he's still out there making plays.
I wanted to compliment him on his discipline in pulling up on a play where DJ read things the right way and made the right decision, and Shaheem was coming downhill and checked up.
Yeah.
You knew you had to.
I don't know if that's like, it's discipline, I guess, but it's also it's
DJ's
DJ.
not small.
I was going to say DJ's bigger than him. It's maybe it's easier to hold up when he's coming at you.
I'll take my guys from Lake City over my guys from Inland Empire, California. No offense.
Talk that talk.
No offense, guys. I guess just wrapping up this segment of the show, Corey, just somebody asked us, I think, on one of
Kentucky hired a basketball coach yet?
Not Scott Drew, though.
Yeah, not Scott Drew. He's still in Waco. Ira had a great text that should have been a tweet, but he did not.
Coward.
He didn't follow through with it.
But I think somebody asked us in one of the mailbags a few weeks ago before we partnered up with our great friends over at Cummins, by the way, Cummins Lifestyle, follow them on Instagram. But they kind of asked us, whether or not we were, disappointed or was Florida State as far along as we thought they would be, like maybe through the first 5 or the first half of spring practices. And I think both you and I were like, we're a little bit underwhelmed. Nothing crazy, just a little bit underwhelmed.
I don't know. I'm just whelmed.
Yeah,
I'm not over or under,
No, I think
I don't think I am.
I think they've caught up to the level of expectations that I would have for them with breaking in a new quarterback, not having everybody available on the offensive line, and integrating all these new pieces. I think they've made some, I don't want to call it strides, but they've made some good steps, it feels like, here in the last 3 or 4 practices.
And we haven't talked about it yet, but they did lose apparently a DB in Greedy Vance, a guy that's played a lot of football here the last, was it 2 years? 3 years? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
So, look, we knew that was going to happen. It's odd that it happened today. I guess the portal opens up in 3 or 4 days. I thought he'd stretch it till the end of spring, but I didn't watch any of these practices, and man, Greedy just doesn't belong. I mean, Greedy's a nice college football player, and he was going to play a lot.
But also, there wasn't anything that was like, man, Greedy's
true, but it's
stepping
like,
out.
You're Greedy Vance. It's not, you get to play football at Florida State, and you get a lot of reps, and you're going to play a lot. I thought he was going to play a good bit. So the point being, what we're seeing right now on what is today? April 11th?
Thursday, April 11th as we record this.
April 12th when you guys are listening to it. Is the roster won't be the same in a week. It won't be the same in 2 weeks. They're going to be. It's going to be a different roster come June or July. That's what I brought up. Greedy Vance is like, I would have thought he'd have been on the team. He's not. There's going to be other guys leave, and if they do have some holes, and I do think there are some holes. I do think maybe the way they get run on has concerned me enough, even without Farmer, that I'm like, maybe they could use a little more beef in the middle, a little more help on the defensive line. So, I do think they will make an addition or two, maybe on both lines of scrimmage, by the time fall camp rolls around.
I'm trying to pull it up here, Corey. It's weird when I can't look at you in the face and then scroll on my phone here. But I know Pete Nakis.
This whole thing is weird.
From
Us
like
sitting
this.
on a bench,
Yeah,
wind blowing.
Not that weird.
Hearing the Hauser in the background.
There's an offensive lineman from Arkansas that apparently they're probably going to be in on the mix on. That's going to be entering that either has entered the portal or plans to enter the portal, and so that at least seems like another spot, which is weird. I feel like offensive line. I know they haven't been great, but it's just like you feel like if Rob's good, you've got your starting five.
Maybe that's an if, though.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an if.
Yeah, let me
his
get his
body's been through a lot, man. So
I found it.
Chambly
Andrew Chambly from Arkansas. Formerly a 4-star, of course, because everybody's a 4-star these days. 6'6", 318.
Okay, all right. Well, you like size.
And also Jason Zandamella, who's a guy that went to the same high school as Lucas Simmons.
Okay.
And committed to Southern Cal. And like Florida State, I think a lot of people thought Florida State was going to be his pick, but he ends up going to Southern Cal. He's entered the portal as well.
That kid, he's a 2024 kid, right?
He enrolled like in January. It'd be
so
like
he's already
Luke
in the portal.
Kromenhoek. Yeah. Like Luke Kromenhoek.
I mean, what a world we live in.
It would be like that, but Luke has not entered the portal, everybody.
Right,
so
correct.
Don't edit that AI and put words in my mouth. Yeah, I mean, that about covers it for practice, yeah?
Yep. And we get to go golf in the morning while people are listening to this. I can't wait to see if my shoulder just completely comes off the arm. But I'm not going to take a lot of swings, folks, and I feel bad. So if you guys know Keith Cottrell, who punted here on the national championship teams 1999.
Big leg.
And you've played golf with him. Good golfer.
Yes.
He was the best player on our team by far.
Very good ball striker.
Probably, I would guess, a 10 or a 12, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm just taking a
single
guess.
Digits. I go single
yeah,
digits
maybe
almost.
more than that, but he's great swing.
Yes.
He was by far our best golfer. Well, turns out he had a bit of a medical emergency. He's fine, but it was a bit of an emergency where now he can't play. And you didn't look too happy when I told you that news that I would be taking his place, which I get it.
Looks really good. Looks really good.
You're good.
Distractions, everybody. She told you, Corey.
So you didn't look all that pleased when I told you that Keith couldn't
because you've
play.
been talking about the fact that you're not 100%.
I know, I'm definitely
now.
not. So what we're going to do is Matt can play and you can play. Ira can't play and I
Matt
can't
can play.
Matt can play.
Yeah.
But so because I can't drive the ball off the tee at all, my shoulder just won't let me. So
But
probably
you've
anything
never
inside.
Taken a full, as long as I know, you've
but
never
it's
taken
still,
a full
it's still
swing.
the strain on it, just even doing that.
Right.
So I got to have loose hands. Got to loose hands, right?
It's all the wrists
But so you're going to take us. You and Matt are going to rotate being the fourth shot off the tee because it's best ball. So you're going to get 2 shots every tee shot.
All right. Well, we should do like Matt, pretty much.
Well, I don't think that's not fair. That's not in the spirit of competition.
Well,
I mean, I know somebody's going to shoot a 42.
Yeah, when somebody posts a 42, then we'll talk about spirit of competition as we try to help out
good point.
Second Harvest.
Good point.
What flavor, what variety of vitamin energy do you want me to bring out to the course?
Mood. It's
Okay.
golf, so I need some Mood Plus.
All right, Mood Plus. The tropical berry flavor, always a fan favorite, always a hit. VitaminEnergy.com. Promo code is Warchant BOGO, Warchant BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Usually we put one in everybody's swag bag, but I didn't get the memo this year, so there might not be one in your swag bag this year, everybody. But, hey, I just gave you the promo code, which is better, right? I mean,
a lot better.
Teach somebody how to fish, feed them for an entire lifetime instead of just like giving them a fish.
Right.
Instead of giving
That's
them
what
like
they
one
said.
vitamin
That's the
energy,
proverb.
I give you the Warchant BOGO promo code. I feed you for a minimum of 12 extra days for absolutely free because that's how it works. Check it out. They're Florida State alums behind this entire operation. All ACC caliber performers when they were students. Now they're killing in the business field with this great product that's helping out so many folks. We appreciate everybody trying it out. If you haven't done so, go to VitaminEnergy.com. Promo code Corey.
Warchant BOGO.
All right, we're back in our natural habitats. East Side office, manned by Corey Clark. Midtown offices, manned by your boy Aslan, everybody. How was Hauser, Corey? I had to leave, come home. I mean, I didn't have to, but I chose to. Kind of regret it because I missed most of the fireworks, but by the time I got home and dialed into ACC Network, I saw a 2-run blast by Max Williams. But how was the atmosphere, man? Walk us through it, man. Give us a taste.
Okay, and not quite what we saw on Tuesday. The marching Chiefs weren't there, but by the way, public service announcement, they will be on Friday night.
Ooh.
So if you're going to the game tonight, after you listen to this, the marching Chiefs will be back in the bleachers down the right field line. So that's really cool. That'll add another element, and it's going to be a complete sellout. They knew that going in, that Friday was going to be a sellout anyway. So, it was a really good environment for a Thursday, man. It got really loud at times. We heard it when we were doing the show, and then not a lot happened good for Florida State for about 45 minutes or an hour. And then Max Williams just hit a bomb over the left field wall, barely snuck out, but it did. And that was enough for another 5-4 win. But, yeah, it was, again, it's getting more and more like it just feels different. Like the energy and excitement around this team, like, I know it's Miami, but it's also a Thursday night. And it's just, that the bleachers were completely full, just like they were Tuesday night. Wasn't quite the crowd that it was Tuesday night, but it was close. And, yeah, man, it's just and then tonight will be another electric atmosphere. It's cool that Hauser is back to this again.
Yeah.
Now, I think the opponent has something to do with it, but they've had other sellouts this year that Miami and Florida weren't here for. So I just think this is a good baseball town. It's always been a good college baseball program and a college baseball city. And these last, 2 months have gotten people back on board that this is a fun product to go watch. And it is. And they won, and they are now 28-5.
That's a really fun thing to do in the middle of the spring and then beginning of the summer in a town like Tallahassee. It makes sense. Just another data point, and I just love how Link don't mess around, man. After Max Williams hits that home run in the top, or rather the bottom half of the seventh inning, Jamie Arnold's night was over at that point. Shout out to Jamie. Ace. Yeah. Man, he was dealing early on, too.
He was good. He had one bad inning that started with kind of like a flared double. And Miami's a good team, but, yeah, he gave up 4 hits in 7 innings and struck out 9. He's just as good as he's just as good as advertised.
So they bring on Andrew Armstrong, who had a really strong Tuesday night. I think he got credit for the win against Florida.
Yeah.
The mercy rule.
He retired 9 in a row at one point. Yeah.
So he comes in, promptly surrenders a solo home run, cuts it to a 1-run game, and then plunks the next guy, and then that's a wrap. Like, just don't have it tonight. Thanks for trying. We're going to try somebody else. I think 9 pitches did he throw? 6 total pitches from Andrew Armstrong.
Should be fresh for a game later this weekend, I would think.
And then they bring Joe Charles in, who, again, like, nobody is absolute slam the door reliable, but you're not panicking. You're not super anxious anytime somebody comes in. But, Joe Charles had some struggles against, Louisville last weekend. Well, actually, no, he had a really good game. He did something here recently that made you kind of shake your head.
It was the game. I think it was the game they lost against Boston College.
Yes, Boston College weekend.
He had a couple of wild pitches, but I didn't think they were that wild. Honestly, I thought they both should have been handled, and they weren't. But he gave up back-to-back runs on balls that got by the catcher.
Yeah, he did great against Louisville. He came in, bases loaded, no outs, and got out of that. So I apologize. So, yeah, it was the Boston College. The stat line didn't look great. Nonetheless, he looked great on Thursday night, coming in 2 innings pitched. I don't even know if they made one contact, it felt like, with the first pop-up or the first fly ball that he got, but punches out a guy, gets the last 6 outs of the game, second save of the season, and that finishes and it closes the door on a 5-4 win. So, again, man, like, you have these options, and you have a coach seemingly that's pushing the right buttons, right, Corey, that if Andrew Armstrong's off, like, it's like we're not going to try to force it. We're not going to give you this unneeded runway because you just don't have it. We can see that. We're going to bring somebody else in and try it out, and it's been working out to the tune of, again, what's the record right now for the
28-5. 28-5.
Feels good.
No, Link's been doing just about everything right when it comes to those types of decisions. Couple of ones, I'm sure he'd want back at Clemson. But other than that, you can't really argue or nitpick too much with 28-5. And yeah, it's Joe Charles, he threw a fastball on Thursday night, Aslan, that was 97 miles an hour. What? And he doesn't even throw it. That's not the pitch he gets his outs on. So he's got electric stuff, man. He's got a really good slider, which is where he gets most of his swings and misses from, and that's what he seems to throw the most. But he's got a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, too. Like, it's a different age. It's a different day in Florida State baseball when you're running guys like that out of the pen.
And then the defense, too, right? Like, how about that 3-6-1 double play that he ended up getting out of the inning on? That's incredible.
That's a great play. That's just a play that doesn't ever – I don't know the last time I saw Florida State execute a 3-6-1 double play. They're just – number one, they're rare in general. But Florida State, the way they fielded before Link got there, that ball is going to end up somewhere in Doak Campbell Stadium or somewhere on the tennis courts. Like, it's not going to end up in Dick Hauser Stadium. So for them to convert, it's such a pivotal moment. Like it's the top of the 8th, you have a 1-run lead, runner on first, and you get a 3-6-1 double play where not only does Lodi's do a good job to handle the throw and get it right back to first base, but then Joe Charles does a great job to get his foot down.
Beeline.
Catch a ball and get his foot down. It's really, really impressive. Cantu, great job to field it, move into second, and make that throw. All of it was just that's just good baseball. That's what good baseball looks like. Sometimes you lose when you play good baseball. Sometimes just it's the sport. But more often than not, when you do the little things correctly, the sport rewards you. And they do the little things about as well as anyone in the country, it would appear, and the sport has rewarded them with 28 wins. And, I asked Link after the game, and he kind of poked fun at the question. But then he gave me the answer that I wanted, which was, like, isn't it cool to win a game like that? Or it be in a game like that after what happened on Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's all fun and dandy when you're beating a team to death and you scored 19 runs and you win by 15. Well, this one you gave up the same amount of runs, but you only scored 5. Like, every pitch mattered. Every moment mattered, and it was cool to see them respond like that. It's easy to hit the ball. It's easy to make the plays when there's no pressure on you. But every play, starting really in the 5th inning, they got that 3-0 lead in the 3rd, and then Miami answered back with 3 in the 5th. After that, every single pitch and play mattered, and they handled it well. And they handled the bounce back from the Tuesday night carnival. They came back 2 days later, and in a hard-fought game against a really good starting pitcher, they were able, as Link described it, grit out a win. That's what the really good teams do. Everybody's going to have a few games where they beat a team, they run rule a team. And they just, every time they hit the ball, it lands, it finds grass, or it lands over a fence. And they feel good about themselves. Every team has those games. It's what those teams do when they don't, I think Florida State only struck out 3 times on Thursday.
Correct.
But they only had 5 hits. Yeah. So they weren't hitting with a lot of luck. They weren't getting on base. They were making a lot of quick outs because the kid's a good pitcher, and they were just hitting to a little bit of bad luck. Good swings, bad results, whatever. But then they still managed to get the big hit when it mattered, take advantage of a mistake. The reason it was a 2-run homer by Williams and not a solo shot is because Lodi's reached on an error, the hitter before, because the Miami shortstop bobbled it. And good teams take advantage of that, and they did. Instead of a solo homer, it's a 2-run homer. And there you go. That's the ball game. So, again, it's cool to see when they beat teams by 15 runs. I get it. It's also cool to see them win a game like that where you don't really know who the closer is. It is a close game against a team that's better than their record. Miami's now lost 4 straight games to top 10 opponents, all 4 by 1 run. Like, that's a good team that's been a little bit unlucky, a little bit snake-bitten, just can't figure out a way, but that is a good baseball team that still has a chance to make the postseason, even though they're 16-17 right now. They're plenty good enough to win some games, including this weekend. But man, that's a good sign that when the offense isn't scoring 10 or 11 runs a game, when Jamie Arnold gives up 3 runs, which is 2 more than his average, you still won the game. That's and Joe Charles, a guy that you didn't probably count on a ton when the season started, got 6 really, really important outs to close it out in a setting like that.
I still feel like if you told me the last game of the season, the final score is going to be 12-10, but you don't tell me who's got the 12, who has the 10. Like I would be like, I like that. I think Florida State would be the team that would win that. But at the same token, if you say it's going to be a 5-4 game, like they've shown the ability to have to put up runs and not necessarily run rule guys, but hang up 10 runs and maybe win 1 10-6 or something like that. And then they pull off what they did on Thursday night too, and it just adds more confidence to what they can ultimately be big picture when we think about this season.
I agree because you got an ace, you got a guy that can pitch with anyone in the country. And again, I want to reiterate the Miami guy that pitched on Thursday. He's I don't know what his numbers are like. I think he's got an ERA of 4, but he has 2 complete games this year. He is an ace. He had a rough outing or 2, but he's been dynamite in a lot of games this year. He's their best pitcher. And Arnold went toe-to-toe with him. And the beauty of this team is, yes, they can bludgeon you to death. They can bludgeon bad pitching. But when you get to the postseason, these are the games. These are the games. You don't win games in Supers 19-4 typically. You don't win regionals 19-4. You win them 5-4, or more accurately, you lose them 5-4. And the cool thing about this team right now is they don't beat themselves. They don't give away extra outs. They didn't walk a ton of guys. I don't know what they walked, 1 or 2 guys, 3 guys maybe on Thursday.
2.
They just don't make those types of mistakes. And the one error they had on Thursday by Lodi's, I think, to start the game.
Yeah, it was first. No, it wasn't the first pitch. Was the first batter of the game.
I think the very next guy hit into a double play.
Yep.
So there goes that. You erased it with one play. That's just they do such a good job of that, man. They run the bases well. They've obviously got thump up and down the lineup. And even when they're not hitting like they normally hit, the leadoff hitter gets into one. All 9 of them can do it. The leadoff hitter on Thursday happened to be the guy that gets into one and changes the game with one swing. But they've got 9 guys that can do that. So that's a good thing to have. Miami doesn't have 9 guys that can change the game. Florida State does. I mean, they just won a game where Tibbs and Ferrer didn't have a hit. That's good. It's good to see. And you're not going to probably hold them to 5 hits the rest of the series. So for them to win a game when they only get 5 hits or 6 hits, I think it was only 5, that says a lot about them being able to do the other things really well. And they do.
That's brutal. 3 of their last 4 losses, Miami, have all been by 1 run.
I think all 4 of them.
Well, they played Florida Atlantic midweek this week.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I meant the ACC, the last ACC games.
Yeah, the last 4 ACC games have all been 1-run losses.
Yeah. Not wins.
Tough stuff, Miami.
Not wins. Losses.
Game 2 tonight, 6 o'clock at Hauser, although it's sold out. So, maybe elbow somebody and take their ticket.
Climb the fence again. Climb the fence, guys.
Yeah, apparently that happened.
Go sit in the parking deck by softball. That's what they should do. They should build a parking deck by Hauser. I hope there is a chance, Aslan, maybe. Do you think that this stretch here can completely turn around the Hauser experience where the people that matter, the people that make decisions, will see, golly, there's a lot of demand here. If we're really good, there's a lot of demand. We've got to do something to make sure these students get in the game. Yeah. We've got to build them a way to watch this game, even if it is legitimately bleachers behind the screen. That would be a cool look. They have bleachers on the Green Monster now. Yeah. Give me some harnesses where these students are hanging over the screen or right behind the screen. That you don't want them to be in the field of play, but they're able to attach whatever they have to attach to the back of that screen 20 feet in the air and watch games. I think that'd be cool, man. It would get a lot of notoriety, too.
I'm there for it. Yeah, let's start the petition, change.org. Let's make it happen.
That's right.
Let's make it happen, gang. Again, 6 o'clock game tonight against Miami, and then 2 o'clock on Saturday, since it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday slate.
It does look like Kentucky got their basketball coach.
I want to talk about that on the way out. Mark Pope?
Yeah.
BYU.
Yeah. I think Mark Pope coached against Florida State a few years ago. I think he was the interim for Louisville. I think. And won. I think he won the game. It was a good Florida State team, too, and I think they won it. Tucker Center.
He was at Utah Valley before this, BYU as an assistant, Wake as an assistant.
Who am I thinking of then? It was another Louisville player that took over, big guy. I guess it wasn't Mark Pope, obviously, but it was like I guess so it doesn't even matter. You can cut this out, Aslan. but it was like the last game that Florida State had lost at home before they went on that crazy run over like 2 or 3 years or whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, that I think again puts things in perspective.
Right.
Of who you think you can get when this era of Florida State basketball under Leonard Hamilton ends, because Scott Drew, I felt like that was a slam dunk. Like, why would he say no? And I get it. You got a good thing in Baylor. You're rolling. You won a national title. Why deal with all the stress? But, we said that about going to Alabama, and I think Mike Norvell gave it a hard thought. I think Dan Lanning might have given it a thought or two for a minute. And Kalen DeBoer's like, all right, yeah, I'm out. I'll take it. And Washington's not a bad gig. Washington going to the Big Ten, a real good gig. They're not happy in Lexington right now. But hey, listen, I don't know if Mike Norvell was Florida State's first choice. Pretty sure he wasn't. I think they like that Bob Stoops guy and try to shoot their shot with him. And this Pope guy apparently has a really good, exciting offense he runs at BYU. So sky's the limit for you guys, Kentucky. But I don't want to see Cal do well at Arkansas. That just feels gross. That's just crazy.
Give those people something, right? But I mean, it's going to be the same thing. Again, I think now more than ever. Look at the blueprint that Connecticut's been the last 2 years. They're not a lot of one and dones. I know they have the one kid that might be a one and done, but a lot of those guys, they're experienced dudes. They've been in college for a long time. I think that's the recipe. It seems like. And Cal, much like Dabo, didn't really adjust to the new world order of college athletics. And at Arkansas, if he's going to continue to, it's going to be cool to get all those McDonald's All-Americans, but 5 McDonald's All-Americans as freshmen aren't going to beat 3 all-conference players that are juniors. It doesn't happen. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I think moreover, more to your point, Kentucky's hiring the BYU coach. All signs point to that. It just shows you, but he might be awesome. It's just, it's even Kentucky doesn't get their first choice anymore. And it's, man, look at that. In the last, 4 months, Alabama football and Kentucky basketball each whiffed on their first choices. Yeah. So that tells you it just tells you where we are. It is hard to hire proven coaches, especially elite proven coaches. We'll see. Florida State, it would appear, might have done it in baseball. They did it in baseball. College baseball is obviously a different animal than basketball and football. It's a lot less money and attention and everything, although it's growing. But they obviously clearly seem to have hit a home run in football. But they went and got themselves an elite proven coach in baseball. But most of those, most sports can't, at least the big ones, don't seem to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, and it's, the confluence of him being an alum, being from this area, his wife being from this area also helps. That doesn't happen all the time. Like some elite guys actually, you're.
Who are you talking about, Link?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Scott Frosting didn't work out in the homecoming. Harbaugh worked out, but, it's few and far between, it feels like. It's a lot more Scott Frost than Jim Harbaugh's, and fingers crossed, hopefully, what Link Jarrett can accomplish. Maybe even this year. It
was David Padgett, by the way, was the coach I was thinking of for Louisville. David Padgett. So, not Mark Pope. Two completely different people. Both tall white guys.
I was about to say, yeah.
With the last name P that played in the state of Kentucky for college basketball, but completely different people.
It all lines up now. All makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap for us. There's recruiting stuff going on because it's spring football and they practice in the afternoon. So that allows coaches and players from high school programs to come check out Florida State football. And then these elite recruits show up, and Michael Langston, Matt Lasserre, intern Greg are out there grabbing guys and talking to them. So go check out those interviews. Check out the Jeff Cameron show, I think, 1 to 3 o'clock. Or no, we're doing the golf tournament, right? So there is no show.
Correct.
Are we doing anything live, like from Corner Pocket?
I don't think so.
Right.
Last year we did that because, I proposed to my now wife the day of the golf tournament last year. So maybe we could, relive that. But, other than that, no, I don't think we're doing anything live.
So not even a whole year engagement. You guys move fast.
That's how we roll, dog.
Yeah.
That's how we roll. Aslan, when you know, you know. Yeah. And sure, you could say, Corey, y'all been dating for 6 years. Yeah. Shut up. When you know, you quit bringing up old stuff. When you know, you know. And after 6 years, I knew, let's go ahead and do it. And then within, 9 months, we were married, and everybody was happy.
Do you think Lasserre is going to do all right on the golf course? I've never seen him golf. I've heard good things, but just do you think the pressure of Ira, you and me, leaning on him, like those shoulders, can they hold these expectations, the weight of us?
Probably not. There's a chance he could wilt. He's younger.
Yeah.
He's never dealt with people. I bet he's never played a round of golf with 3 other guys in their 40s. Yeah. Sorry, Ira. One in their 50s. But, so he might wilt a little bit. But I think what it's going to take, Aslan, is just you or Ira hitting something close.
Yeah.
Let him breathe a little bit. Let him know he's got teammates, and it's not all on him. And then I think that'll get him off and running. I have to make a putt. I just want to make a putt. That's all I care about. One over 15-foot putt. 12 to 15, somewhere in there. Something over that is what I'm looking for.
All right, I'll do it. I'll bring the Vitamin Energy mood, so it's done.
Thank you.
It's already done. Thanks for listening, everybody, to another week of Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Check out warchant.com. Hit the thumbs up, 5-star rating review on the way out, please. Have a great weekend, everybody.